Hello everyone, this is the Good Captain. Welcome to another video in my LP of Campaign Series West Front. This is now mission number 6 in the linked campaign game titled Operation Sealion. This is part 1, Clearing the Menace. So I'll read the historical and then we'll do the scenario analysis. So D+3, Maidstone, 43 kilometers west of Canterbury. The invasion is proceeding nicely. Our forces have now almost reached the main line of defense of England, Ironside's stop line. This formidable line consists of minefields, roadblocks, and dragon's teeth obstacles covered by pillboxes and trenches. Your battalion has been ordered to clear the area south of Maidstone and the river Medway of all enemy units for an upcoming assault across the river. You'll have armor and air support for your drive, but expect very heavy resistance and fortifications. So this is 3 days after the initial invasion. Visibility is 15 with only a slight haze. And I've read this several times now, but this is the designer's notes that you can find in the main files of West Front, the main file folder. And this is good to just kind of check out before you play these scenarios. One thing I learned here is that this isn't just one battle. I thought it would be like Canterbury, where we just fought it out in a bloody battle and ended it. But this is actually the beginning, the first in a series of battles for Maidstone. So the player will play a series of battles in the area. The first battle calls for your unit to clear the area south of the river of enemy outposts in order to prepare for an assault across the river Medway. Once the south bank has been secured, your battalion with sufficient supporting units is to spearhead an assault across the river with the goal of creating a bridgehead. This bridgehead will be critical for the breakout toward London, and will also serve to isolate the city of Maidstone and its Australian garrison. Before such a breakout could occur, your men can expect heavy fighting in oak and wood on the hills northwest of Maidstone. So 15, 16, and 18. So that's 3 scenarios right there, just in this little paragraph that it's talking about fighting around Maidstone. A player that successfully negotiates his way through the previous scenarios can expect to find his battalion advancing past the town of Rotham and Leeds Castle en route to London. So this looks like a series of 4 scenarios to, if successfully navigated, will get us past and through this Ironsides line, or whatever it was called, my bad. Let's do it better than justice than that. Ironsides stop line, okay? So yeah, it's this is definitely a marathon, not a race, and I'm very glad to have sort of accepted the minor victory in the last scenario, because I'm for the most part topped off. I think one rifle platoon is at strength 5, and it looks like we're going to need it for this bloodbath that we have coming up here. And this leads me to the other thing I think I've derived from playing a number of these scenarios now, 5 of them to be exact, and reading and rereading this designer's notes. It appears everything is based on win-lose. Minor or major victory doesn't seem to. I could be wrong, and I know I'll be corrected if I'm wrong, which is awesome. But I don't. My inclination is that it doesn't matter if I get a minor or a major. There's really nothing but bragging rights attached to one over the other. So I'm gonna. The next sentence I'm about to say is also sort of pinned off of this last paragraph. Generally, play smart, play patiently, play with caution, and you might find yourself leading an attack on the Parliament buildings and Buckingham Palace. Husband your forces and minimize your losses. You'll need them for later battles in the campaign. You'll notice that the victory conditions are usually high. This was intentional. If you attain a major victory, then you probably deserved it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I feel like there was something else in here that made me think this, but anyway, I'm readjusting slightly my expectations. The gap usually between minor and major in most of these scenarios is pretty significant, and if all that's attached to it is bragging rights, then I'll pay it just that much service. If I can get it, I'll get it. Otherwise, I'm going to start out each scenario from here on out aiming only for a minor victory, with the option of punching through to the major. Again, the Canterbury battle is, and the last battle, and really, actually all these battles have really sort of tempered me and humbled me a little bit in my expectations. This is not an easy campaign game, or linked campaign game. For those of you who followed me through the Philippines as the Japanese, that was fairly simple. In fact, it was really simple comparatively. In fact, I might even go on to say that most of the Link campaign games from Rising Sun, because I've played them so much, probably more than any other Link campaign games out of any of the installments of this series, are the simplest. You've got Operation Shoestring, the Kokoda Track, the Invasion of the Philippines, Invasion America, Reaping the Whirlwind. All of these are actually simple to mediocre in difficulty. This is ahead of those for sure. Maybe in another video I'll resume myself on what Link campaign games I know I've played and which ones I haven't. But okay, let's get into the scenario analysis. So that the takeaway from that is I'm going to go for 450, and then if based on opportunity for bragging rights, I might go for the major victory, but I want to make it to Buckingham Palace, and I want to make sure I can make it. So this looks pretty brutal too, this scenario in particular. So map overview. Well, first the turn length, 22 turns. That's a lot. In the last scenario, we had what, 18? Well, we're not nearly moving as far, and we'll get into that in a moment. And they've given us 22. This says to me that there's going to be a lot of units and a lot of fortifications. So I'm geared for that. I'm mentally geared myself for that. So first I'd like to do a map overview. So we're fighting on a large hill. We're essentially at elevation 0, 1, 2, 3. Elevation 3, 0 is where the city of Maidstone is located, down here where the darker colored areas are, and then there's level 2. Basically, it's a little bit of level 3 here in these hills surrounding Maidstone. But the objectives, and I'll double back for significant terrain, but the objectives are actually fairly significant in that there are, what, 6? Yeah, totaling 450. So we can get the minor victory if we take all the objectives. And if we did take all the objectives, it probably means we'll have the major victory because, and I'll just start through this. It's kind of like a bridge too far type of scenario. We've got a large map where all of the objectives are located on the bottom third, and it looks like we're essentially, we have one single axis of advance with the city of Maidstone at the north here, which I'm sure we don't want to go into, just as sure as I didn't want to go into Canterbury once I found out what was in there. So the main axis of advance will be along the southern border here of this map. And the first objectives are Luce and Pimp Court. So this is 150 points between the two of them. And then we gotta, after we grind through these tank traps, or what are they, anti-tank ditches, and through Hamlet Wood, past the 40 millimeter, we've got this crossroads here that's worth 100, and Gallant Farm and Barn Hill, which are each worth 50. So that's another 200. And then finally, we've got this 100 victory point objective, Shingle Barn. And this is what I look at as being the quote-unquote bridge too far. If we're doing exceedingly well, we might get that, and if we get that, we might get the major victory. But I think that the minor victory is doable just by staying local here. And yeah, so next is the significant terrain. Well, there's nothing too crazy to say. I mean, there, in terms of terrain, we have a deep river here, but I don't know how much this is going to come into play, although we might mention that again, bring that up again towards the end of my analysis, because it might. And then we've got the town of Luce here. And we already kind of went over this, but it's fairly straightforward. It looks like a straightforward push through the main lines of resistance as they come up. Try to suffer the fewest amount of casualties and inflict the greatest upon the enemy. This is just a headbanger for sure. Really, I doubt there's going to be a lot of options for flanking. Okay, support. Area units. We've got 6, which is nice. And most of them are Stukas. And then we've got the HS-123As. So that's good. Artillery. We've got our trusty 150 millimeters like we did in the last scenario. We have 2 of these mountain guns. And we have our 81 millimeter mortars. So what is the plan? How will we attack? Well, my plan is to drive forward, basically. I'm going to use this platoon here on the southern edge of the map to come in from the top. I'm going to flip the map by hitting the R key real quick. That's so you can see this elevation change a little bit better. So this platoon up here at the tip top now will come in from the top of the map and drop down into Luce if needs be. Otherwise, it will proceed towards in a direction of advance with the workhouse to the front. This platoon here at the bridges, or near the bridges here, will do a sort of direct assault into Luce. And then this platoon over here will sort of swing north of all of them, at least at the beginning. And this is going to be subject to a very swift change as the situation develops. Armor units, we've got Panzer IIIFs. These are not that amazing. Check this out. They've got, what, a 6 hard attack and a 5 soft attack, so they're better at shooting tanks than at shooting troops. But you know what? I'm not complaining. These are going to be vital to surrounding enemy units and helping destroy them that way. We also have a platoon of armored cars, and we have the trusty PSW 222s that we had from Canterbury, except this time we have 2 platoons. And we also have the PSW 231s. So PSW 231s hit on a 9, so do these. Okay, so they're all relatively similar. And I'm fairly certain, yeah. What I want to do with these, since these are high mobility units, and this looks like a slogging nightmare. I'm not sure that these would be the best use. The best use of these units would be to, slog it out with the enemy down here. And I am seriously thinking of at least attempting an end run by moving them, retrograding them back over here to positions along the hill where they can see across, so we can do some reconnaissance. Here, like here, here, and here, and we'll see across and wait a turn. Position this turn, scan, next turn move across, and if we can drill into the enemy's hinterland area. I mean, I'm going to go deep if I can do it, and then slowly poke around, maybe find out where the artillery is and maybe destroy them. I don't know. But this river, now to bring the river back up, this deep river doesn't have a crossing until you get down into Maidstone, so it is somewhat limited. I'll pull it out by dabbing the 2 key so you can see this. Like, here's the area of the map that we won't have a problem accessing if everything works well for this end run. And look at all this chunk of the map that I can't get to without actually going into Maidstone to cross this bloody bridge. There's really nothing, there's no ford, check out the other side of this castle here. Sorry about it sort of reverts, but see there's no crossing here. No crossing. No ford. You have to go right into the Maidstone to do it. Not saying we won't do it. Not saying we will. Just saying that's what I have in mind, and I'm going to take a quick pause and then we will get going. Yo, I'm back. Okay, so there's some things I know I'm going to do, like I'm definitely going to move these, pack these up, so I'll just do this now. Actually, I'll describe what I'm going to do. So, I'm going to, second, here we go. I'm going to I've packed these artillery mountain guns up, and I'm going to position them one in 4127 and the other in 4128 and unload them here. Why? Because I've studied the map, and this is a key piece of information to me. The position of the 40 millimeter gun here, the fact that we can see it, I don't want to lose sight of this thing. And at these hexes range, no, at this range, these hexes there, my God. These hexes are out of range. So here, I'll just show you what I'm talking about. I studied the map. You can really not spend too much time staring at a map before battle, especially one as complex as this. This, so far, has taken more time than any of the others for me to just sit there and stare at it. And I don't pull the trigger until I feel right. And I don't know how else to describe it. I'll just sit there and stare at it until the pieces fall into place and the plan on how to solve it becomes more clear to me. And sometimes that takes 5 minutes, and sometimes that takes 2 hours. So this was more towards that end. Yes, yeah, that might be a little weird, but that's what I love about it. Okay, so one of the things is that the soft target for 40 millimeter, the range is at 10 hex range. So range 11 or beyond is good. And I think we're at range 13 or 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, we're at 14 hex range. So each of these guns will be able to put 2 9 firepower attacks each turn into that hex until it's disrupted or reduced or destroyed or whatever. Anyway, from here they can also see one of the objective hexes and, you know, a bunch of other hexes here. And they're far enough, again, back to not be shot at, so we'll be moving them. The mortars, even more important, they need to move into a hex in front of this village here, this village hex here. Why? Because I've ranged that out to cover everything up to and including the 40 millimeter, and I'm mostly looking at this mortar as being our ticket, our smoke ticket. Okay, so I'll pack him up. We'll move him last after we clear up this traffic jam. And we'll have to mind his movement because we have a machine gun out here which needs to be baited. So we'll do this next. We're not going to move against it this turn, but we want this thing to shoot on its turn so that when we have our next turn, it's shot out and we can safely move against it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right here. This is a hex that we want somebody at, someone with decent morale. This guy's got a 6, so you're the headquarters platoon. We don't want you, so we'll use you. You will go here. And he didn't shoot. I'm always worried that it's not a medium and that it's a light, in which case the range is different, but let's try moving the leader. No, let's not. Let's move the other platoon in first. Yeah, it's a medium. Okay. Cool. Just in case we make a mistake, maybe we should bait that last shot or try to. Let's move the leader in. No. Okay. Moving right along. yes, this end run I've decided is going to happen, and there is some risk in moving back this way, but again, after looking at the map, there's wrecks here, so I'm hoping the story is that we fought our way, or somebody fought their way from, you know, these all these wrecks everywhere. Of course, that doesn't mean they're wrecks. It could just be, doesn't mean that the Germans came through here and fought for this ground and took it. It could just be aesthetic. But I'm doing this regardless of the aesthetic or not. So we want to get, let's see, this is 5, this is 6, this is, yeah, 2, okay. Yeah. This is already kind of a risk, but I'm willing to eat it, frankly. So, sorry, I should have had this more dialed in than I do, but I'm going to flip the map. It's kind of disorienting to do this, but this at least gives me a better view of the elevation changes here that you can see. It's harder to see them. Again, sorry to do this. I'll do it one more time and then I'm done. But you can't see, notice that the elevation change is very difficult to see here, and I'm double dumb, so I got to be able to see everything that I'm clearly, or I'll make mistakes. So I want to let's pull the map out a little bit. Again, I don't like playing like this either, but I got to make sure of where I'm looking. So I definitely want someone in here because we can see this hex among a bunch of others. Okay. And then reachable hexes. You know, part of the other thing about this is, you know, we need to make damn sure when we do this that, yeah, that things move a certain way. So we're going to go back. You'll go, I'm going to let the AI take over now. You'll go here. Ah! Foiled. Okay, that didn't work. And we'll retreat. At least we didn't lose anybody, right? Yeah, there would have been a wreck there. Boy, that was short-lived, wasn't it? How bad do we want to really knock our heads against this? Maybe we can just go around that guy. That was the company headquarters. Let's probe a little more. This is disconcerting, but not a game ender. Again, mines are an issue. Yeah, I get it. I know. There's risk in doing this, but this is still too loud. Okay. It's not terrible, but there we are. We can at least see out into the valley a little bit. Okay. Yeah, that's not a bad position at all. So hopefully this rifle platoon stays put. I have an inkling it will. And then let's send this guy back. Okay, and he'll move down here. Okay. All right. Headquarters, double times, and I think, yeah, we're going to move into this wheat field here. I think we're pretty safe. Yeah. And we're ranged out to the town there. We'll probably move one more turn. We can move into this village hex and then put some depth to that and shorten up the supply line. So, okay. Okay, now it's time to get into more serious matters. And the first thing I want to do here is put eyes up on this position. We're out of range for anti-tank capability from this 40 millimeter at this range. The anti-tank capability of a 40 millimeter is 4 hexes. We're at 7, but we can see a lot from up here. We can see into both town hexes, and at one of them we're at 3 hex range and the other we're at 2. So the worst thing that could happen is there's 2 pounders in the rubble that pop us as we move in there. This is a risk that I am essentially willing to take. We'll go ahead and let's double time this guy just to get him so that the tank can use a road bonus. Save every VP or action point that we can. So here we go. Okay. No shot. That doesn't mean that there's not someone there. Honestly, I'd rather find out now. So I'm going to put the leader in there as well. Okay. We're going to aim our front armor at them. And hopefully we'll get a good report. Okay. Okay. The next thing I wanted to do was sort of stack up. This is, I really don't see any way. Oh, that's right. I was toying with the idea of moving 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, if there's a 40 millimeter here, yeah, that's right. This is what we're gonna do. Do we? Yeah, I'm gonna open up this hex so that the tanks can pass through. We'll just move here. 5 morale. Bad, but he'll get better. Okay, and then this. I know this looks a little ballsy. Actually, let's not use the headquarters tank if we can help it. Can we help it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is kind of ballsy, but I'm going to use the headquarters tank, and we're going to move into this fully hedged hex here. And the reason I'm moving here is because it's exactly 4 hexes away from this entrenchment position. So if there's a 40 millimeter in there, he will bait the shot of the 40 millimeter instead of shooting at our infantry on the British turn. So the 40 millimeter hits it at 3 at range 4, which isn't nothing. There is some risk in doing this, but it's better than getting chewed apart by if it shoots at soft targets. So okay, hopefully there's nothing. Let's get it out there. And this tank will move towards the end after we've stacked up all our troops. Now, it could be a machine gun though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, yeah, range 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's perfect. So we'll stack up. Yeah, pretty much in these. Oh, that's okay. So it's this hex. 1, 2, 3, 4. This hex. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We won't be able to bait any shots. Okay. Yeah. That's a little disconcerting, but Okay, not a big deal. So yeah, we're just gonna stack them up. Let's move here, here, here. Here, here, here. Engineers will kind of do a more direct move. Yeah, let's stack heavy. Okay. Move up. It's good to keep an eye. Yeah, there's the 40 millimeter can see these 3 hexes here, and these 3 hexes are hexes we do not want to get to be in unless that thing is smoked. So there's a real solid argument for smoking it this turn. In fact, we're probably going to do that since we're going to need to use this orchard hex to start softening up that position down there. But anyway, let's stack them up. Just checking how yeah, these look pretty safe. We can go here. Yeah, we'll double time you. We'll go here. You'll stack heavy on this guy. Again, no artillery or air raids on the first turn, so, you know, stacking, we don't have to worry too much about that. Just don't feed the enemy. Be careful not to feed the enemy. The overstack bonus is, once you bust 12 SP, they get a bonus. You don't want to give them anything. Okay, we got 3 more units back here that still need to be moved. This is sort of the reserve slash flanking group, and it's the one that's going to have the most difficulty because their movements obvious or observed under observation. So let's just go here. Double time. There's the second shot. That's fine. Machine gun. Well, actually, we'll post him here. That's just to maintain observation. I guess we don't. It's redundant, but yeah, it's super redundant. I guess it wasn't really necessary, but anyway, the headquarters for the tanks. You know, I would move him now. Better now than later, before the shooting actually starts. So in the villages seems safe. Yeah, let's put him in the village. Previous range. Anti-aircraft gun. So we're paying attention to the blue line. This is the area that's covered by. Yeah, so that's his area of jurisdiction. So it looks good. And then finally, this last tank, which I feel like should sort of be centered more. We should centralize him, so let's put him here for the time being. Sort of act as a reserve. Okay, and now the mortars. These guys are trucked mortars, basically. Yeah, they'll move right in with the machine gun. This should be safe. Out of range of the 40 millimeters, out of range of the machine guns, no artillery, no air raids. And next turn we'll be able to drop them off in front of the village. Okay, so for better or for worse, there's where we are. You know what I forgot is to show reinforcements. We do have reinforcements coming. The motorcycle platoon or company coming in. So it's 3 platoons with a battalion headquarters at hex 4032 on turn 4. So this is important to know when and where they're coming. So they're coming here on motorcycles, and they roll for on turn 4. So hopefully on turn 4 they'll be here. I've anticipated that by turn 4 we'll have this first objective and be working on the second one and breaking down this 40mm position. And in that case, I'm going to have them shoot along the edge of the map edge here, and their objective is going to be to work on the workhouse and on to the next objective there. Okay. And yes, there are some, on that same turn, Panzer IV-Ds come in, which are a much more lethal tank with a leader. We got Flak 88 anti-aircraft guns. Those are the big 88 guns. Those should be fun, along with some prime movers to move them with, and another motorcycle platoon. So, cool. But those come way back here, so we'll have to move them up. Okay, so now we are set. We're ready to call down our artillery. And we got to make a decision about that smoke. Do we want to smoke the 40mm right now? And I think we are, because we don't have any legitimate direct fire shots until mountain guns are set up, and that's going to take another 2 turns to do. So, yeah, if we want to get in on this town and start working them over, it makes sense. So, yeah, I'm going to drop one of my precious smoke shells. Hold down the Alt key. Firing unit not capable of firing smoke. Did not know that. Oh well. Damn. Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that so many German guns weren't able to fire smoke. Huh. Okay, in that case, we are going to let's drop. I'm not worried about this rifle platoon. I'm not yet worried about this 40mm. Huh. Does restrict the movement of this flanking company, though. That's a disappointment. Yeah, let's drop 2 into the machine gun and 1 each in the objective hex and this pile of rubble here. Okay, air raids, no, nothing really worthwhile. And that's it. So we'll give the enemy its turn and cross our fingers. Okay, so we see a roadblock here. And it looks like the village has, that objective hex has trenches in it, so there they go. Okay, no big deal. They can do that. So we've beat it up on both of their shots. Huh. Wow. Mines here, a fortification here. Wow, what a mess. Yeah, we're probably going to turn right back around. The guy's really going to town somewhere. Wow. What the heck is going on? I have a feeling the AI is probably moving a truck back and forth somewhere until it runs out of action points. This 0 of 7 undisrupted or recovered morale is because so many of my units took on replacements And so it will slowly, takes a few turns for their morale to move back up to the 7. Okay, come on. Yes, good hit. Lovely. Okay. Okay. And look at that, our tank. This tank's low on ammo. That's what. So this is a good lesson to me and to anyone watching. I have a better. I think I have this up here. No, I have a different book. Here we are. Panzer IIIF. This thing has a pretty crummy soft attack value across the board. It's not probably something you want to have doing reaction fire. So I'll have to keep an eye on these as we move through the rest of the scenario. Really want to husband their shots, or else they can go low on ammo at worthless targets like the one we just shot at. Hex range 3, that thing it hit shot at a 3. Yeah, it was a terrible shot. Okay, wasn't worth going low on ammo for. Okay, so we don't see anybody in there, but that doesn't mean they're not there. So let's do a time check. 41 minutes. This looks really crappy. This looks terrible. And look, there was troops here. Wow. Just to stop us from doing just such a thing. Huh. I don't know. I'm feeling pretty pessimistic about that flanking move. I think it might be just best to stick with the exact script that seems to be obvious, which is drive ahead. So we'll go ahead and cancel the end run. In this turn, we will unfortunately find out how many guns the British have, and lament over the fact that we probably won't have any option to go get them. Okay, a little pause while I think about what to do. Sorry, this is just a complex scenario, so little pause, be right back. Yo, I'm back. So the first thing... Well, there's no 40 millimeters there. We know that because the AI would have shot our Panzer IIIFs. If there had been. So what I'm most worried about is from this hex or from this hex is machine guns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the best way we can bait a shot from a machine gun is 6 hex range, and that's this hex here. We want to move a unit. We want to move a unit there. Now he's shot out. He is definitely shot out. So let's go ahead and move this unit right here. Ooh, there's a rifle platoon. Damn, I was about to send this Panzer IIIF in there to clear out the MGs. Oh, they're disrupted. Nice. From the artillery barrage. Lovely. Okay, let's see if we can bait his other shot. Oh, huh. Let's send in the other guy. Actually, let's double time the other guy. Oh, come on, shoot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dang, he didn't shoot. How freaking frustrating. I don't want to overload the hex, so annoyingly, I'm going to have to move this machine gun over the hedge, I think. What's cheaper, 2 unpaved roads at 56 or jumping a hedge into an open at 55. It's almost the same thing. We'll take the cheaper one. There. Baited the shot. Let's try to hit this guy. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if there was a machine gun here, they just missed 2 shots to shoot this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's almost evidence enough for me to think there's not one there, actually. Okay, now they're completely shot out. I want to take this guy and double time him because I wanted to. Yeah, he can. Ooh, how greedy do we want to get? Do we really want to get greedy? We could. We could. We could. We could. We can move this tank into this orchard hex here. And then possibly into that hex. There's nothing there. It's an open ground. The problem is this rubble hex here. So I wouldn't put it past the enemy to have anti-tank guns there. That would be a nice haul early in the game to annihilate a rifle and a machine gun. Yeah, we've had eyes on this, so there's no minefield there. Okay, I'll bite. Oh, really? Sweet. Insufficient. Oh, no! You know what that means? Is there's a roadblock there. Ah, oh, you... God, cheap. Well, we're certainly not moving these Panzer IIIFs down into that hex there. No, sir. We are not doing that. Alright, let's jump this hedge. Add in... maybe we can just get him with the minefield in 3 other locations. Nope. Nope. Did not work. Okay, well, we'll get the hell out of this hex now so we don't overload it. Let's check this out again. We'll come back to you. Okay, now the next question is, there's probably somebody here. I can't imagine that there's not. So how badly do we want to check it out this turn? Not that bad. I think we'll take another turn of positioning to really hit this. Yeah. Okay, let's see. What can you see? Really not much. God, it's pretty bad. But when we're here and here, yeah, so we're gonna move both these units here and here. You guys will go here, here. It's still an overloaded hex, I know. I should have left one here. Stupid. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and bait a shot. God. If there's a machine gun in there, though. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I don't think we want it that bad. No. So we'll just move here. Here. Stay out of the way. Yeah, let's move you guys here. It's probably safest. You guys will stay put. Okay. Let's take your crappy shot. Whatever. Put out the enemy, I guess. Okay, and you guys. Let's shut off your ability to shoot so you don't go low on ammo. You'll stay put. You can't move. So, given the just the presence of the British everywhere, it's probably going to be best if we don't go gallivanting off with any units, and always keep a rear guard. So, let's get everyone dialed in here. Again, just want to make sure this AA gun can't mess with us. Yeah. Get you out of the traffic jam. Okay, and then, yes, we wanted to go 1 hex in front of... Well, we'll unload you there for this turn. Yeah, so next turn we'll have smoke at our disposal. Okay, and then we don't want to unload. Back to those in a moment. Alright, now it's all going to be about 1 hex spacing. This is now just a reserve. This unit can definitely come up. Double time. Bah. Alright. Okay, you'll go here. Here. And we will unload you next turn. Yeah, you know... I'm not seeing, a way through their line here. There's trenches at every entry point. Yeah, this is whack. So we're gonna pull back. Look at this mines. Other side of the road there. Let's just move over here. I am tempted to just... You know what? I'm tempted to just leave a guy here, right here, just to observe. Make sure that there's no funny business until our units are safely on board and past this mark. So I will leave him there. And we'll cycle through. Let's check your fire range. Yeah, you're a little outside the umbrella, so why don't we move you? Looks good. All units have been considered. We've got a pair of 150s. our 2. That's good to know. He's got 2 strength points. Yeah. So we'll split it again. 1 and 1. And no, we don't need any Stukas. Let's change you out to short range. Cycle through. One last time. Give the enemy its turn. So they got at least 1 battery. Okay. It's 2 batteries. Ah, 3 batteries. That's not good. Ah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Rifle platoon. 2 rifle platoons. Oh, an engineer platoon. There's a rifle platoon in the rubble. Machine gun in the rubble. 3 hex range. That's no joke, but we are fortified in a village. They might be. No, they're not disrupted. Okay, we undisrupt our PSW 222. Yes. Dang. So let's inspect these guys. There's their engineers. They're in good shape. Both their rifle platoons are in good shape. The machine gun is still disrupted. Wow, and this rifle platoon is still disrupted. So, yeah, they are in pretty darn good shape. That's not good. That is not good. Oh. That's a lot of units. The good news is that they're in a fairly isolated position, so bad news is they've got a lot of artillery. God, they've got a lot of artillery. Boy, they got a lot of artillery. 3 batteries that can very quickly wreck an attack. So we'll have to be very smart about this, but not tonight. I don't want it. Well, maybe we could do another turn. No, this is going to be a long turn. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put a pin in it here. Thank you for watching this. All the best from the good captain, and we'll do part 2 another time. Bye-bye.